I'll wait till everyone's back. I had a question about if Ramona still has that thing, like the fire halo.
Let's see. So it was kind of a thing that like flashed,
Okay.
and not like a.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I think you would need to like cast some kind of read aura, or you need to do some kind of detection.
That's not like critical. That was just to see if her power had faded or whatever.
Yeah. Can you give me a religion check as well?
Who, me?
Just Ludwig.
Oh no! What? Oh, that's an incredibly good roll for
Yeah.
Ludwig on religion.
This isn't like a, well, so like there are people who still worship the old gods, and like as long as they have holy symbols of the old gods, they still are able to tap into some remnants of that power. So it's not beyond belief that Ramona and all of the clerics could still have some lingering power, at least for a time. It probably won't last as long as like Denala's lingering power.
I just want to note that that's boss as hell. Like, I really like that idea of like tapping into a dead god's fading power.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. So I don't think we're. I suppose we should keep initiative order for a minute, but we can be a little freeform about it, and we'll just jump back in if we need to.
Yeah. So Eve just wants to like symbolically take the dagger and just like try and cut it. Salamander's like, just sever the head.
Yeah, sure. It's not too difficult at this point. You're basically cutting like burnt, ashen, like tendons. So yeah, you're able to cut it loose pretty pretty readily. But I think Ramona like she's in the middle of talking to this goblin, trying to talk him down, and like being like, preserve our lives, fight another day, that kind of thing. And then she sees you doing this, and she yells out. She's like, "You've already extinguished our hope. You desecrated as well."
I don't stop. I just do it.
Oh, shut it!
Yikes! All right.
I yell out, like after the head, I guess like rolls to like my feet or whatever. This big ass fucking head.
Yeah, really.
I'm gonna turn out to her and yell, "He would see my home burnt to the ground, all for what? Because he had a disagreement with the former ruler?"
She like starts to move forward, and then Keth like draws her sword and holds it out to her.
No, Keth, it's all right.
She like looks over her shoulder at you, and it's like, "You want me to let her approach?"
I do not fear her.
She there's like a beat, and then she'll sheath her sword again and just glare at Ramona, who takes a not terribly wide path around. Oops, that's not. Okay, takes not a terribly wide path around Keth. They're about to turn into Salamander. Right. Yes.
Salamander
They were
2.0.
prepared.
Yeah, I told you there's more than one like
Next
stage.
form. Does she
She-
look like Frieza? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, does she have a tail?
No, she looks like a half elf.
Half salamander.
Yeah, half elf,
Half elf, half human, to be entirely clear. She walks up, and like she's barely holding back tears. Her hands are balled into fists. She's just glaring at you, Eve. It's like, united those cast out by Eden, ignores by them, branded as fiends and bandits. She swallows and just shakes her head.
I'm
God
gonna
damn
look
it.
at her. I'm gonna look at her and be like,
Also, Dylan, change your scene.
Oh my god! Alright.
yeah.
I promise it wasn't like that the whole first half.
juice.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't trying to be rude and saying that.
No, it's fine. I just like I go to switch scenes and then I like pull up Discord and a bunch of other stuff. Oh god. Anyway, carry on. You were saying.
I'm gonna glance at her, and Narmire's be like, "So what? You were cast out by a city, so you chose to follow a giant lizard that threatens to burn his enemies to the ground. How is he any better?"
It's actually an amphibian.
Oh my god. The council is poison, and you know it.
Of course they are.
Or at least you said as much.
I spoke
still
true.
agree with that.
The council is poison. But as of this day, Eden is about to embark into a new age. All it took was this, pointing at like the severed head. There will be no more council.
I think she like grits her teeth. Like, you come and slay our god for your own gain, to replace poison with poison.
No. I slayed your
better
god because he wanted to burn my people to the ground.
Yes, it's better than replacing poison with fire.
Oh, definitely agree.
Whether or not you agree with Eden, you shouldn't just oscillate to the exact opposite spectrum. How can you not see what Salamander was doing was evil?
I think, yeah, she like, I think tries to come up with a rebut and just shakes her head. She's like, leave. Touch him no further. Take your head and depart.
Oh, I don't think you're in any position to negotiate.
No, I think we will go. Heartbeats, can we get a little bit of lift on this? I don't think we're going to just go ourselves.
How big is Salamander's head?
It's basically a medium-sized creature.
Could I stuff it into my bag of holding?
Can you stuff a medium-sized creature in your bag of holding? I feel like it had it. I think there's like a mouth width that it gives you for the bag.
Question: can I stuff a medium-sized creature into those portable treasure chests?
Yeah, that's easier.
All right, gonna do it.
Those are like those hold yeah, yep. So yeah, you I guess you pull out one of the key tokens.
Solace is like
one
trying
of
to
the
figure
chest
out how to
tokens.
take an entire skeleton.
Right. Worth noting, there's also treasure here. Let me see. There's like a bunch of gold. Well, not a bunch of gold. There's a couple handfuls of gold. There is where'd it go? There's a couple rune stones and like an incense burner.
Runestones, huh?
Yeah, you see them mixed in. They're like scattered about from the fight. Like stuff's knocked them all over the place. So they're, you know, around the dais. There's just a litter of trinkets.
Well, I imagine everybody else is gonna have a better shot at getting them before I do. So, because I'm still doing the salamander head thing.
Right.
Yeah, Ludwig would probably be healing up Solace first. He already did his treat, but he'll pop a potion in him. He's not gonna do a long form.
Well, I already
anything
healed.
right
I already healed myself this time.
Oh, in that case, Ludwig's gonna pop a couple potions himself.
DM, just real quick. I just want to figure out, without having to like waste time, what the 4 abilities do. I'm guessing they just like do kind of. I'll just type it to you. We'll figure it out.
Sure. They're basically so like your Jade Fang is basically kind of a spell storing relic of
Yeah.
sorts. So like you have the firewall that'll kind of protect you and obscure you. You have the sooty fireball. It's a fireball that blinds.
Okay.
It's basically what it does. And the line nuke, and then a summoning portal that will summon probably not 1d8 elementals for you.
Yeah, obviously.
But, yeah.
I'm probably not taking the elementals anyway.
Okay.
What kind of so it's basically just fireball versus what's the line nuke? Is that like lightning bolt?
Yeah, basically. It was... Yeah, it did fireball damage in a line is kind of how I did it. It was kind of a custom spell, but that might just be lightning bolt.
I'm gonna, like, just later after we do this, I'm gonna switch to the black fireball.
Okay, sure. Yeah, the harpies are like coming back and kind of rejoining you guys. I think there was another one that I'm having trouble finding.
Is the green orb still lit up?
Green orb.
In the dagger, right?
In the dagger.
Yeah. So in the yes, correct. In the Jade Fang, yeah, there's still like the green orb is flying around. Same with a red orb, which will turn into kind of the darker city orange orb.
Well, I used it already.
Oh,
I fired the bull straight up.
yeah. So like, okay, yeah. So it's basically like, kind of scintillating colors inside, but I guess yeah, the orbs are not as fully bright once you've used like the initial charge of the spell, like the fully powered up version. If that makes sense.
What I'm asking is, I've already expended the orange one.
Yeah.
Is the green one still lit up?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Cool.
Is there enough of salamander that Ludwig could get some of like the body oil and kind of stuff possibly to upgrade his fire bombs later?
I don't think. Well, like, yeah, you can collect some of the ashes, I think, and that'll have the same effect. Sure. Although Ramona gives you the stink eye the whole time.
I think Ludwig would probably recognize that and just keep on going.
Okay. Yeah, even if you try to, if you like, so let's put it this way. I think Ramona's gonna try to convince all the people here not to attack you. Like that seems to be the case. She's like, we're gonna live today. But if you piss her off, like you might make an enemy that's pretty dedicated to coming back to bite you. So yeah, she like sees you collecting the ashes. Eve, she sees you trying to go for some of the bones, and she just yells. She's like, "Stop! Stop, or I swear, I will gather what's left of these forces, and I will make you regret your." She shakes her head. She's like, "Travesty. You got what you want. Leave us in peace."
Travesty. Jesus. You think this is what we wanted? We tried to talk. Maybe you have a chance next time to talk with someone, try and understand where they're coming from instead of just flaring up and thinking that you can just have your way.
This gives you what right to desecrate his body?
Where's
He's
Rava?
dead. Yeah, there's nothing left.
Rava's she's got kind of the same token as everyone else, but she's over with the barbarian who you have not gotten the name of.
It was my understanding that Rava was fucking huge for a harpy.
So like Keth is huge for a harpy. Rava is not so much.
Eve snaps a bone, like a finger bone or
Oh
whatever.
my god.
And holds it up and says, so Ramona basically just said, like, so help me, I'll come after you. Be like, well then. She's holding up the bone. Remember this then. Before you go after someone who can slay your god, or just to be like, Or hold on, I'm gonna try and intimidate her, specifically. And this is what I'm gonna say. Well, for a fanatic, are you prepared to die just like he did?
So she,
Oh!
damn.
And tosses the bone right in front of Ramona's feet.
Yeah, she starts just trembling, like fistballed, like lip quivering, and then her face distorts into just anger, and she turns and starts like walking away.
Go ahead.
Rather
touch
quickly.
It. See how easy it crumbles.
Yeah,
Did you go to
she's
the
gone.
Salamander's face?
Oh no.
And yeah, I think everyone else is backing off too. They're like, oh fuck. And I think if you look around, the look on their face is not, oh wow, this powerful person who slew our god. It is, oh wow, this psychopath.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kev will go ahead and grab the skull for you. Oh wait, are you
I have
saying
no-
the entire skeleton?
Skulls in the body.
Yes. It's a skeleton. It can't be that much weight. I can carry my own skeleton.
I've got the skull in the
Yeah, also,
chest.
it's just the back half. It's just like the tail and like the
Yeah.
ribs.
I think she, like-
That's a lot of bones.
Yeah, I don't care about this.
I need it for my museum.
Museum. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
You're
you're
rugged home, okay? You're not gonna make a god do that for you.
So
What
I
if I
think
say
she
please?
says. I think she says. She like raises an eyebrow and she's like, "You're determined to anger them, aren't you?" But
No, let's go.
she starts to raise a hand and then like looks at Ludwig and then looks back at you, Solus, of like, "Are we going or am I picking this up for you?"
We're going. Enough is enough.
Let us go.
Museum.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I think when
We
Sona
have to-
says "Let us go," Keth like takes back her hand. Says, "Very well." And your harpies return to grab you. Where the fuck is the fifth harpy? What the? It's fine.
They leave
Bam.
Ludwig.
It's there. I brought it into existence.
They grab the
Um,
bones over Ludwig.
So yeah, you guys get your harpy rides, and they will airlift you out of here if you want.
What about the treasure and the pillar?
Do you? Yeah. Do you guys grab the treasure? I mean, you guys are free
Yeah.
to now. They're just gonna be
Yeah.
more and more horrified.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the treasure and then I'm gonna steal the black fireball power after that.
Okay, yeah, you grab the fireball power. There is. Go ahead and roll me. 2d6 times 10 gold, 2d6 times 10 silver, and 5d6 times 10 copper.
All right, so 100 gold, 60 silver, and 5d6. You said copper.
Yep.
All
Times
right. Yep. Wow.
Damn.
90 copper. We got more gold than copper, boys.
10. You also get
What-
3
what are
rune
those
stones.
runes?
Yeah, correct. You get 3 rune stones, and you get one like hanging incense burner. It's like this simple like tin plate. It's got a bunch of like char and soot in the middle, and then like it's held by 3 chains up to like kind of a like a hook. That's got like a kind of a makeshift handle on it.
Right. I'm just gonna keep track of all the loot that's like currently accumulating from this place. So we have the staff, the charm,
Ridiculous amount of gold.
3 runes, incense. We divvied out the gold from the last one, didn't we? Or no, we haven't done that yet.
I don't think you've done
No.
that. There was also you guys got all the trinkets from the chamber, but there was a shitload more coin down there. I don't know if you guys are gonna bother, but
Oh, it's kind of yeah. I'm gonna look at the cat and be like, oh, perhaps. So it seems like some of the fanatics were making offerings to Salamander downstairs. Would you like to requisition that?
Um. I think she turns and she's like, I have no use for, and then like Rava kind of hops, like flaps forward a little bit and is like, if you don't mind me interjecting, we might have made some enemies today, and a little gold to equip ourselves against retribution wouldn't be the worst thing. And Keth kind of turns, like, fine,
Well,
we will collect it.
If Rava would like to be my ride out, she and I can go downstairs and we can split up the loot.
I think the barbarian is like, Rava is my ride out.
I
No,
just feel
I'm-
like
I'm
there
just
is something
borrowing
going on between them.
I'm gonna glance over and be like, oh, I'm just gonna borrow her. It'll only be what, 10 minutes tops?
Eve, this is where you stop if you want to live, I think.
She
Yeah, it turns out this barbarian is stronger than Salamander. One shots.
Oh boy. That would be just equally as powerful as Salamander.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd taken like 8 damage before I got one shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
true. Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten one
Fair
shot
is
without
fair.
that 8 damage.
I took 0 damage before I got one shot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was rough.
Yeah, so yeah, I think she looks at you and like, yeah, just not like an actual glare, but just like a playful like, fine, acceptable, and turns and is like, Miran, I'm in need of your services then, and like walks over.
Ludwig's gonna try and tag along with them too, because he wants to know if the barbarian used his potion.
Yeah, you what?
Creature.
Right. I think so. So yeah, you can have a conversation about that as you're flying down. But yeah, Rava will come and like help you divvy up the gold beneath.
Yeah. The gold down there, whatever there is, I want to split it 50-50 with Rava.
Cool. So yeah, it's a 2d6 times 100 gold, 2d6 times 100 silver, and 7d6 times 100 copper.
Alright, gold? Ha! Oh wait, that's actually not that great. Alright,
It's
silver,
okay. It's slightly higher than average.
and then copper.
The copper was, you need another 5d6 copper. So 2,200 copper.
Alright, so we get out of that 400 gold, 300 silver, and 1,100 copper.
Yep.
Plus, we also, I'm gonna just be doing the math while we're flying away.
Okay. I will find a different song this one is.
So 500 gold. I'm just rewriting everything.
Okay. So zoomed out for that map. Okay.
360 silver.
There we go.
Want to say? Yeah. No. Yeah, 360 silver and then 1190 copper, or was it times 100 copper for the first one?
First set was times 10. Second set was times 100. There's a lot more underneath. A lot
Yeah.
more in the temple.
All right. And then I have it written down somewhere what we got. Yeah, we actually didn't split up. Do you remember how much we got from downstairs earlier?
I don't
have to
think
scroll up a
I
lot.
wrote it down.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'm gonna scroll up a lot because I think it was like last session.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, so
I thought it
Yeah,
was
I
like
kept-
600.
And it might
I
have.
could-
It might be. It's behind. View all chat entries for this game. Okay.
I
can
did,
see the
yeah.
chat log. Okay. All right. Yeah. So.
I'll start digging while you do that.
Okay. You'll start digging for the gold amount from last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
During this, Selnis would ask Keth about, like, her experience when it came to salamander.
Sure. And I think
also,
sorry.
no, it's fine. I think also just about like wind power in general.
Okay. Well, it's you're informed that it is very efficient and cost effective actually these days. Anyway.
Except it kills birds. So.
Oh wow.
Salamanders, actually, in this world.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because birds are way too similar to dragons, so they
Wait,
don't exist.
Is your pedal just a windmill blade?
Maybe
more,
that'll be an upgrade.
More evidence that that we should have been playing Apocalypse World for this campaign. Yeah, so you guys are like you take off. You have a moment to breathe. So notice you're asking those questions. You see below you that people are like scrambling to get on like boats on the island. And just there's a whole lot of hustle and people moving around, and people seem to be panicking and aware that Salamander has died. Turns out when your god dies, your clerics are pretty fast to figure it out. And they can fly you 3 hexes. So first of all, where do you direct them?
Could we just go south?
South. Yeah.
Yeah, just directly south.
Yeah. If you yeah, sure. So they'll I think Rava grumbles a little and is like, a little out of our way, but you did help us slay our mortal enemy. And yeah, they'll agree to fly you guys south. So that is where you'll arrive in several hours. Like, it's a long time. Your shoulders get uncomfortable because there is no resting when you're flying over open water. But yeah, they're bringing you south. And yeah, you're asking about, let's see, their experience with Salamander. She says, well, forces of Salamander, they tried to, how do you say, they wanted to bring the entire desert, the entire northern region under their control, into their army. Succeeded, mostly. We prevented them from spreading into the hills. Spreading into our territory, our hunting grounds. We stopped them from invading a village, and the Vindals were especially grateful. Thought it was an act worthy of worship. And it's kind of a pause. She says, we did not want to fight for Salamander's goals. This foolish endeavor.
From last session, or no. Plus, we also get that.
Okay. And that's
So,
still
yeah.
totals, right?
That's the total from that one time.
Correct. So yeah. All right.
So combined. Oh, that was last time. So I'll do the math real quick.
Okay.
So 1020 gold. Wow, we actually got 360 twice.
Where'd you
Seven.
get?
That's
Where'd you
wild.
get 1020? Wouldn't it be?
500 and 520.
Oh,
yeah.
5. Oh, sorry. I saw the 400 gold. So.
Yeah. 11. Yeah, go ahead. I'll just do the math.
I think that's kind of it. And when you ask about wind power, she looks at you. She's flying close to whatever harpy you're on, and it's like, I am not sure I understand your question.
I guess I would ask, exactly like what she meant when she made the comment of like we share blood. More so trying to get at like, does she happen to know the exact thing
Gotcha.
that provides like Sonus's power? Because Sonus has like an idea. He understands it comes from something.
Yeah, I think she doesn't know, and she's like, I do not know where our link comes from. I can just feel it. Feel the resonance.
Sonus would nod, and then also because he's just like thinking, he would ask if she knows anything about brass.
I think she also shakes her head at that. She's like
shakes her head no.
Yeah. She's like, I've heard his name, some of his deeds. He does not come to the north.
Okay. Sonus would then ask. Sorry. He just wants to figure out as much as he can.
Yeah.
He would want to know if she had any connection to Adam, or any interactions with him, or the floating city.
I have never been to the cities on the water. And I did not have the pleasure of meeting the Emperor.
Yeah, I then think Sonus would be done.
Cities on the water.
Yep, writing it down, writing it down.
I will. Before she said that, she looked confused.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think. No, I don't think Sonus sort of specified in the air.
Considering you're always talking about your paddle too, I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those like,
Right?
it's like obviously floating must be.
Yeah.
So, we just kind of had a long day. Do you want to rest here with us tonight? I think there's much we have to talk about. This whole battle was not one of just nipping a threat in the buds. There's an extreme reward in Eden, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And it seems fair that you should share in that as well.
One of you becomes the new emperor, she says, kind of like as a question. Like she's heard, but she's not fully aware. She says, and yes, we will fly no further tonight. You aren't that heavy, but bearing your weight as well as ours when flying is exhausting.
Yes, that's fair.
Eva's gonna look at her and be like, "So, you're the ruler of all these harpies, huh?"
So Yeah, you see like the wing feathers like bristle a little. And she says, I am their defender, I do not speak for them. And Rava like laughs somewhere in the distance. I think like she's standing next to the barbarian who's like building a fire. And she's like, closest thing to an even representative we have present. Don't want me making decisions for us.
I'm gonna look over at Solus and be like, hey Solus, you know what'd be really funny? If we put a harpy on Eden's throne.
I think Cass bristles further and looks away and is like, you will do no such thing. Rava's like, you would look good with a crown.
Keth, I'm sorry. My humor must have been lost on you. I was just I was being sarcastic, but in a playful way, if that makes sense. Do you drink?
Part of Solace is just like cringing on the inside because Eve would absolutely do something ridiculous and kecky like that.
Yeah. Give me just a diplomacy roll with the "Do you drink?" question.
Alright. Here comes the crit. Nope, that's the crit.
She like grumbles. She's like, I prefer to keep my senses keen. And then Rava adds on, assists with your diplomacy check. Is like, come now, the greatest victory of our lives we just had. We can relax for a night. We're a lake away from any danger.
And besides, I snuck out some of the finest port in that you can find in all of Eden. It's a ported dessert wine. I'm not sure if you've ever had it before.
We have stolen some on occasion.
Oh, well, you've probably never stolen something like this. Here.
And she will
like pulls out a really, really fine bottle.
She will very hesitantly like take it from you. Is the cork still in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she like takes she's still wearing the like taloned gauntlets. She'll like take it and just like pull out the cork with two of the talons. And, like,
you're not supposed to. Mind.
Oh.
You're not supposed to get any of the cork in the. It'll still taste good. Trust me. Better than that, cheap swill that you probably stole.
Yeah, she'll take a sip, and there's kind of a weird chirp noise that you haven't heard from her yet. She's just like shakes her head and like pulls her head back and kind of like looks in the bottle. It's like sweet, little like the mountain berries.
It's called grapes, but yes.
And she'll look at you and she'll take a couple more sips. Yeah. And I think Rava and the barbarian are like gathering what scraps they can for a fire. There's not too many trees here. A couple, but kind of wet. So they try their best. Barbarian's sitting there trying to light it. Just like, damn it. Damn it. I think while this is going on, Keth is like taking a couple of sips and like looking at the bottle. Reading the is there a label?
Oh, yeah, there's a label. It's also like I imagine there's probably like even like a pasted on like tacky like diamond or something like right underneath the vintage.
Yeah. Right, just like a bit of. Is it a diamond or is it like shaped glass?
It's probably like a diamond. Like it's
okay. Yeah.
They spare no fucking expense.
Right.
Or like a gemstone or something.
I think out of habit she like picks at it a little bit and then like stops and looks at you and hands back the bottle. and looks at Ludwig and says, like, I do not know which of you will be placed on the throne. I would be curious, she says, and kind of like looks at the group, and says, but if our people, if the gnolls and the harpies can be free to move through Eden's land, then that is a good start. Typically, I believe they're called the River Legion. They have not been terribly kind about our presence.
Oh, well, whoever it would be, you'll be welcome here. Just no more looting and pillaging and, you know, all that jazz. I mean, you can ask Robert. You have enough gold right now to buy whatever you were stealing from people.
Yeah. She bristles again and like looks out over the way. Kind of turns away. Says, being worshipped has a way of making that activity distasteful.
What, purchasing or stealing?
Stealing, pillaging.
I don't think we would be adverse to making a spot on the council for one of you as well. I think it's about time that Eden opened up a little bit more. I think they're a little behind the times.
Yeah, how does the rest of the party, like, Kef looks intrigued and curious, but again, kind of uncomfortable as always when it comes to these, like, more political things. But how does the rest of the party react while Kef is figuring out how she reacts?
Eve nods and says, "How about Rava?"
Rava bursts out laughing, like, already through, like, half a bottle of some kind of, like, I don't know, some crappy, like, ale that she stole from like, some, you know, it looks like some unmarked bottle, very similar to what you guys saw in the cave when you came across that, like, the raiding party. She's, like, drinking that and just bursts out laughing. It's like, you can't. Me? Sent me as an emissary to Explicita, and you saw how well that went.
Well, who said anything about being an emissary? Besides, I think we could polish you up yet.
I think she clears her throat a little and sits up a little straighter when she realizes you're not making another joke. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I just assume everything you say is sarcasm now.
Oh, that's a safe bet right there.
By the actual rules of the competition, it was whoever killed Salamander. So unless I can find a good enough successor, it shall be me. And it will be.
Well, I'm just saying, my blade was on the back of his neck, and you know.
And you did nothing.
You can't really prove that you were the one who.
Oh my.
Okay, let's
No,
get some sleep tonight
So
before
this
you know we kill each other. Jeez.
So this would just start laughing.
Okay. And I think Eve, like, Rava looks over and says, there's like a glance between her and the barbarian, and then she looks over and it's like, I would be honored and try my best not to make too much of a fool of myself if such a position were extended to me. It would benefit us greatly to have a seat on the council, and kind of gestures to the other harpies around and says, and these fools could do it anyway.
Eve sees, like, everybody bickering over the whole succession thing, and like, kind of says, yes, we'll have to sleep on this, won't we?
Oh no, we can offer her a spot. Just give it.
Oh, no, not that. Oh, I'm sorry, I just got lost in thoughts.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
of course.
there's like the two conversations going on for sure.
Yeah, the harpies. Yes, I thought it was agreed. I mean,
Sonus would just keep talking because he really wants to get his point across, saying that she could take Calvin's spot.
Calvin. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, honestly, anyone who voted against this contest should be promptly removed.
One of them already has been. I mean, I'm just saying, he fell off a bank.
What is the terrain like? Are there any cliffs around? Any like?
You guys are in quite. You're in like flatland, basically. I guess. All right. So let's see. It's like there's a hill here. It's like hilly here, and then more flat this way. But I wouldn't say there are things like cliffs. There's kind of like a peninsula, and you're mostly just out in the open.
All right.
Yes, I would prefer we get some sleep at the very least. I think perhaps we meet up with your brother again and head back from there. I think
Yeah.
having a bit of protection would do us well right now.
Okay. Interesting.
I think Sonus would stay up for like the first watch or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. What's the rest of the watch?
I guess just Sonus.
No, Ludwig will.
And you guys have.
Yeah, like,
Ludwig will actually stay up with Sonus too.
Okay. And you guys have harpies, so you have friendos, so you can spread it out quite a bit.
Dylon, check your things.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't hear Discord notifications, so.
No.
OBS.
yeah, I can take second watch.
Okay. All right. Mostly it passes sleepily, quietly. There's no no interruptions during the night, but you guys can have conversations with whoever's around. It sounded like Ludwig and Sonus are up, so if there's any conversation through the night, that's fine.
So, Sonus, you did pretty good back there, huh?
Why, thank you. You too. Those frost bombs were excellent.
Yeah, I'm realizing more and more that I'm not very good at the whole get up close stuff, huh?
That's
Well,
a
I don't
fucking
know what
lie.
you do.
During daily preparations the next day, I do want to pull Ludwig aside at some point.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll finish up the Sonus Ludwig
Yeah.
conversation if there's
Yeah.
more to it.
Is anyone else up right now?
I think like there's probably a harpy like also on watch with you guys. Probably the one that was referred to as Miran.
Okay. I don't know what you did when you went in the shadow, but it sure seemed to not make him too happy.
It wasn't much. Just a couple this and that. Yeah, it worked pretty good, I guess. No, I think I may. I guess I'm curious. You and this guardian seem to have a thing going, and I just want you to know that if you ever want to talk about it, you know, I'm here for you. And also, I'm really curious because if it's actually a blood thing, I do want some of your blood.
Are you saying you haven't gotten some of Sonus's blood in like the
I-
2 months you've
yeah,
been traveling together?
I do my best to not affect the
consensually
party.
draw
Yes,
blood.
it's got to be. I've gotten in trouble before.
I see. Right, you're trying to follow the the ethics standards.
Yeah. There's probably a group of adventurers that is like, we are never hiring a goblin again.
Probably, yeah. We'll talk about that at some point. Whether Sonus was your first Or not Helios. It was Helios. If Helios
Helios,
was your
yeah.
first partner in Eden.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
I think Sonus would start to like laugh with what like Ludwig is saying about like like Cather and whatever, but then realize everyone around us is sleeping, so just like stop, um, and then be like, well, if you want some blood, that's not too big of a deal, you know. I just need some to still function.
Yes, I don't need that much. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. It's usually better fresh. So, you know, at some points that might be interesting. If you have something in common with these gods, perhaps, you know, if you have built a following of your own.
This like
Yes,
this
the
feeds
idea-
into what Sonus was thinking during the battle.
It's just, yeah, if we could. I mean, you've already spread about the Midwest paddle. In theory, if it's only about worship, you could potentially build a following of. We'll talk about it. Thinking we could build up some pamphlets and stuff.
I'm going to say that, like, I'm not gonna actually go out and say all of it and keep the conversation going.
Mhm.
But I think Sonus would really just like lean into it, like, not even out of the idea of wanting people to like worship him in that way, but just out of the fact that he saw Keth doing really cool stuff. And also people wanting to like know of the name the Midwest Battle, and so he'd be like I think you're on to something.
Yeah,
And I'd imagine they just talk about it for a while.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Because I was literally like, as Sonus and everything, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, I've introduced myself and told a lot of stories.
It would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Can I do some sort of check to get a baseline or like an idea as to the number of people that need to I guess like follow you in order to affect your
I
ability?
think probably you can do some research when you get back to Eden.
Okay.
All right.
This is just a common thing.
Yeah, and Ludwig will be helping you with that as much as possible because that's fascinating.
Can
I'm just
you-
trying to identify the rune stones and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, can you let me know which ones you're trying to identify with each roll?
All right,
Yeah, and at
All
some
the-
point too,
rune stones.
there you go. Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Sorry,
So
keep
two-
going. I'm just doing the.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
You can
Oh.
type it out if you want.
Okay. Is
Fire
that
elemental's back?
it?
That's it for that.
Okay.
The next morning, Ludwig would like to talk to Keth as well, but that doesn't. There's no rush on that.
I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of seemed like Ludwig was interested in like Sonus's possible connection. Like, does Ludwig know what Kath would have been like referring to, or
No,
I guess like
no, I don't think he would. Right? He would just know that Keth is like, oh, you're like me, so. And Ludwig is like, well, if Sonus is like her, boy, it'd be interesting to be able to see what it takes to make a god.
Right.
yeah, I think Sonus would, just because like over the however long that everyone's been traveling together, I would say Sonus has grown fond of Ludwig. So
That's good. Oh, that won't turn against.
So, well, no, I think Sonus would just talk a bit of like how, at least in like Sonus's thinking, Keth and him might be connected. Essentially, just talking about how like he has just wind abilities that he didn't actively learn.
Mhm.
Just going on like about that, and that it is something to do with like his family. Pretty much just
Okay.
going to that extent.
Yeah.
Alright. Does anyone have any other conversations during the like night, or we can jump to the morning otherwise?
Yeah, I guess Eve at night is just going to divvy out the loot, and then in the morning when everybody wakes up, give them their share, and then make another Arcana check on the incense burner.
Okay.
Fuck.
Super dope.
Yeah.
Eve, I see you're having troubles. Do you need help?
Oh shit.
This
Solus?
is made at a +2.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll just I'll be like, I can't figure out what this damn thing is. Somebody take a look at this and hand the incense burner out to whoever wants it.
All right.
Solus is back there. He's
Solus,
figured out like as soon as he saw it.
I think you know, one, that this is pretty old. Two, that it's pretty powerful. Three, that it is aligned with the Shade of Death. And has some like touches of death magic and celestial magic. Divine magic. And four, that you actually don't identify it. Close though. You're close to a breakthrough there.
Does it have?
Are you kidding me?
This is
This is a 29!
It's like a legendary artifact.
Wait, hold up. Maybe it might actually be a 31 because I'm a seer elf.
Okay. If they're not the same type of bonuses.
No, because what I was doing was the ageless patience,
Okay.
which comes from a racial feat.
All right.
Let me read. I don't know why I don't have this like actually written down.
Yeah, you just said it was at a +2, so I'm I'm not sure what types of bonuses they.
Yeah,
so
me
this is a
neither.
+2
Yeah,
circumstance
so-
bonus. So if the other one is
Yeah.
also a circumstance bonus, then they don't stack.
That might actually literally also be a circumstance bonus. Oh no. Okay, this is also just for identify magic and to decipher writing, which is also a circumstance bonus.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, not quite there.
god damn it. Well, so Sala says, well, I can tell you one thing. It is associated with the Shade of Death.
And probably it like Eve's having so much trouble identifying it because it's of a similar nature to the Jade Fang. And there's like kind of interference there when Eve tries to investigate.
I don't know how I would
Sonus is just gonna try. There is absolutely no way I can do better.
We're just
Like,
doing
well, if-
Arcana checks here. I was
I'm
saying.
literally saying there's no
You
possible
get a
way.
20.
But
A 20 could like.
a nat 20.
all right, here we
Nope.
go, baby.
Nope.
Nat 20, here we come.
Come on.
I'm actually gonna use my hero point.
What? All right. Go for it.
No.
Oh, technically, I probably owe. Oh, I didn't actually give Ludwig the hero point for that thing.
Sure.
I
I'll
have to
do
dole
it.
a couple out here.
Oh, yeah.
Ludwig, you have one
All
for
right,
hopping
that-
in the
that
maw
adds-
of death. And
Adds
Eve,
up to 20.
you also have one for your intimidation at the end in your speech. So, yep, Sonus, you fail again.
Yo, but what about me trying to throw Salamander or trip him?
Well,
I did damage.
uh-huh.
No, I'm kidding. You don't have to give me one.
So, just from a post-fight mechanicals perspective, when Salamander left the dais,
Yeah.
was he still able to use the pillars?
The pillars were deactivated. The flame waves were deactivated.
yeah, we also killed him pretty quick.
Yeah.
after.
Oh my god. So I had like I had thresholds of frost damage that would lower his AC and like some other stats. And then I had threshold of like HP damage where he would leave the dais. Especially when like you were turning off his abilities. And you guys hit both of those thresholds and then fucking nuked him.
Dude,
He only
wait,
got
how much-
one turn of like leaving the dais and raging at you.
Yeah.
Well, we had 2 crit frost damage things. Like,
Yeah.
Ludwig's did 42, and I think mine did what, like 38 or something.
Yep.
Well, and Solus's arrow did another buff.
Yep.
like, right to his face.
I'm the
Correct.
only one who didn't do.
You did damage. You did like
Yeah.
you did a lot of damage that wasn't dramatic. Like everyone else missed, crit, crit, crit.
Yeah.
I actually
You-
missed everyone except for the crit.
You did.
Like, I spent most of the fight turning off the pillars.
Yeah.
I
You
think
did
almost
nearly
Useful,
I think
though.
every turn I
every turn you did
Got-
damage.
yeah.
And you did you did almost a third of his health and damage just from chipping him with spells.
Nice.
And then so you got him nearly halfway by yourself, and then everyone else, like the frost bomb brought him below the half health threshold, and like he would have left the darkness there if Ludwig wasn't right in front of him.
How much health did he have?
180.
Dang.
Damn.
Yeah, I was getting a little worried for a while. I was like, wow, this is going real slow.
Well, the thing
Thanks,
is,
you
we
think
weren't
I did-
taking damage because he's not black fireballing us and shit like that.
True. Yeah.
And also, he never high rolled on elementals.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. 1 1
He
2
never
2.
rolled more than 2.
Fuck. Nothing even close to average. Ugh.
Dude, that was the thing I was worried about. I was like, if this ring starts getting flooded with elementals, this is gonna suck.
Yeah. Well, they were
I wasn't worried, man. Like, they can't hit me with the second attack.
Mhm.
right.
Except also after I figured out that they like dispersed after one hit.
Right. They're minions, so they have full stats, but their HP is 1 health.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Also, I figured you
nah,
could just
I-
blow
I
him up
didn't
with a
know.
fireball.
Right. You could. Worst comes to worst, you could airball them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they definitely would have.
level 3.
They definitely would have started flanking, and if they had it, like, you know, if they had actions to spare, they probably would have tried to do some like combat maneuvers. They would have been annoying, but yeah, no rolls, no dice for Salamander today.
Good.
Yeah. So I do want to pull Ludwig aside in the morning.
All right, yeah,
I'm gonna be like, Ludwig,
Yeah.
let's take a walk.
Okay, let me just set Blevin down for a moment. Blevin, we'll reattach us later. Some idea. Yes, what's up?
So I guess we like walk out for a little bit. Eve isn't gonna say a single. Like, he could be like, "What's up? What's going on? Hello."
What's with
And,
the silent act?
We're gonna, as soon as we're far away from camp, Eve is gonna pull out the little treasure box, and is gonna look at Ludwig and be like, "Ludwig, after hearing the conflict last night over everybody fighting over who gets it, I've decided that none of us are fit to make that decision."
Oh, wow, that really speeds up what I was going to have to do.
No. You see, I'm afraid that if I hold on to this, after all, the rules of the contest specifically state that Salamander's head is needed, that it might get to my head. So I've decided, as someone who has shown the most amount of level-headedness, and with the least amount of investment in this whole ordeal, I would like you to hold on to this. And she hands him the little chest.
Yeah, it's actually a
Says-
little key once it's been activated. Like once it stores
Yeah.
something inside. But
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's worrying, but oh boy, you know,
yeah,
it's
I
a
have a-
lot
I have a
easier to
question
do it
then.
when you don't have it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna hand to Ludwig and say, Ludwig, just make sure nobody knows that you have this.
Don't worry, that won't be a problem.
He's definitely like tucking it away as soon as he says it's like,
Oh, and she's gonna be like, oh, and remember, don't open it because I can't make another one.
Yeah,
Once we
I
op-
was wondering if you would remember that, or if I'd have to remind you.
Yes.
I did want to say so. While you're there, I'm very proud of you. I saw how you handled yourself in that battle. You didn't rush in. You made sure that he couldn't attack us. That's really teamwork.
Well, look, I don't agree with the whole diplomacy route, but I wasn't going to let you guys get killed because of one of my mistakes again. And I really thought I got Solus killed from that whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I have a lot to learn from you.
Wow, I think I learned something from you too. Sometimes it is important to put yourself out there, you know?
Yes, I saw that. What did you expect to do? I've never seen you stab somebody all that hard.
Oh, I tried to get in there, but it didn't really work.
Yeah, Eve actually has no idea what the fuck happened. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to leave that close fighting to you guys.
so,
Says the catalyst to actually winning the fight.
yeah. So, I mean, after all this is done, how's about we go find another god to kill? She says, like,
Yeah.
just kind of smiling.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like they're a bad bunch except for that guardian. What's your take on her?
I mean, she helped us kill Salamander. I don't know what more there is to say. Oh, do I trust her? Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't detect even the slightest hint of deception in her voice. I don't think she even knows how to lie.
Yeah, I think you're right there. She seems more normal to others, so that's good.
As Ludwig's saying that, it's like it's a real shame, actually. I feel like at least having some street smarts would do her some good, but oh well. Seems like that Rava's got a good eye for her.
Yeah, it's good to have people. Have a team, you know. It's the first god we've met that really has a crew.
Look, no matter what happens when we get back to Eden, which, to be quite honest, I'm dreading now that I feel like we're so close to our quarry. Well, my quarry anyway. I just hope that all of this doesn't go away. Like, look at kind of glancing back at the party. So, keep that safe, and worst comes to the worst, who knows? Maybe you lost it.
Yeah, honestly, that had kind of been my plan, was I was going to lose it, but well, I'll have to think about it for a bit.
Actually, don't lose it, but that is one condition I have.
And the other?
Oh no, that's it.
Oh,
I
that's
see.
just the
Ah,
condition.
no, I understand. I said that. Huh, okay, never mind. I can see how. Okay, the one condition. I'm sorry. She says as she's like kind of trailing off in thought. Yes, that's all.
I'm
But
very proud of you, Eve.
in any event, I feel like you are probably the best suited to hold on to this.
I mean, I didn't want to say it.
You didn't have to. So, should we get back to them? What did we talk about anyway? Oh, we were just talking about, if they ask, I guess we were just talking about how you tried to stab Salamander and failed.
Yeah, I could use some tips on my up-close sword fighting, maybe.
So I guess Eve is just gonna like talk about like dueling techniques as we're going back. I guess once we get back to camp, it's like, oh, and this one's called a parry. You see, you hold the sword up, and you deflect, and like this.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I have a dagger, and it would just break my arm, I'm pretty sure.
Sonus would hear this and he would pipe up and say, "Oh, that's why you need a sword that's bigger than a shield. It makes parrying the easiest move in your arsenal."
True. Have you played Final Fantasy VII Remake? Shit blocks so many bullets.
As you've never seen Sonus parry once.
Yep.
Also
Not
true.
even an attempt.
Let's see.
Never mind. I was gonna ask you, do we get experience?
Yeah.
I assumed you were just gonna do
Let's
that.
we'll do it at the end of the session, because it kind of depends on where you end. Yeah.
Oh, and if we run into Brass and he wrecks us, because we just killed his amphibian brother.
I'm sorry, it was called an amphibibug. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
amphibians.
Sorry. Doan's laughing because it's true.
Accurate.
Brass is actually the human
Hey,
half.
you
of
notice how we went
Salamander.
south and Brass is going around?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also very.
He's gonna
much
get there
enjoying
and
that.
they're gonna be like, huh, what have you come to rub salt in the wound? He's like, no, we're just here to kill Salamander. Real funny. It's so insensitive, asshole.
Yeah.
Ramona's gonna
Zima's
take it out
there,
on him.
though. Yeah, Zima's there. She could probably meet him
Yeah.
like, turn around, turn around, turn around. It's really awkward. They're gonna get to the door, be about to knock, and she'll just be like, hand across the throat, like, cut it out.
Ramona's gonna turn into the fire demon. What are you
Somebody doing their taxes.
Clearing a hex spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
There's a
Sounds
lot of
like
stuff.
We're hitting directional keys. Just
Yeah, I was hitting down and delete across a long spreadsheet because selecting multiple cells and then hitting delete is too much. It's too much for me. Too much thinking.
yeah, it's that big brain energy.
Yeah. I don't think I have descriptions for any of the fucking places you guys are, so that's fine.
So you're just writing up something.
Well, I was just I have a little like search form that pulls relevant descriptions for like hexes. Yeah.
Yeah, in
I
the
guess this,
morning,
are we
too.
just like traveling now at this
Oh,
point?
yeah.
Basically, yeah. The harpies are gonna go their separate ways from you. Although I guess like
Oh.
there's like
Yeah, go ahead.
kind of they're getting ready to go in the morning. Like as you guys are talking, you come back and the harpies are packing up their stuff. And I think Rava like kind of walks up to you, well, just waits for you to come back, and then it's like, so I'm not clear. Should I be joining you in your travels, or?
Oh, that would be great if you're able. I know you have responsibilities elsewhere, but if you're able to, it would really help to have another, what's the word, eyewitness.
Certainly. Esset is coming with, though.
Did you say Esset?
Esset. Yes. She nods. I think
Is that
actually
your
her
barbarian
barbarian friend
friend?
nods, yeah. She like walks up and like does a little punch on her chest.
Oh, that sounds great. The more the merrier. Yeah, I'm sorry, Acid. We're so bad at asking names. It's, we should really just introduce ourselves, I suppose.
Come back.
There's a lot going on. I don't know any of your names.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's fair. It hurts going the other way more than you said.
Well, I didn't mean any offense.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Kind of scratches the back of her head.
Upon hearing that, Sonus would walk up and introduce himself.
Okay.
Yeah, just put out his hand for a handshake. But then during this process, he's going to look at Ludwig and like wink.
Yeah, they're just winking at each other.
How do you introduce yourself?
The Midwest Paddle.
Oh, you literally just say I'm the Midwest Paddle? Okay. She's like,
no, it's yeah, I didn't walk up Midwest Paddle. No, he would walk up and be like, "Oh well, I'm very sorry you haven't been introduced." And Sonus would go around like pointing to people.
okay,
Like,
yeah.
pointing to Ludwig, being like, "This is Ludwig." Solus. I'll be honest, because the name is changed in Roll20, that screwed me up for a second.
This is fire elemental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This camera. And then would point to Eve and be like, you don't need to worry about her. And then introduce himself and be like, I'm Sonus, the Midwest Paddle.
Yeah, she'll nod and she'll like shake your hand. Said, I only heard the Midwest Paddle part before. I'm Esset, as Rava's already told you.
Ludwig is giving a big thumbs up.
Like, I'm proud, Dad.
Yeah.
Sonus would say it's great to meet you, and yeah.
Yeah, she'll nod.
So is Rava coming with us?
Yeah, correct. Rava will be traveling with you guys, begrudgingly by foot.
So what's it like to fly anyway? I got a brief taste, and I gotta say, walking on air was pretty nice.
It's much better. What's it like? Well, feels a little bit like being completely superior in every way.
Oh, so kind of like being rich.
She kind of rubs her chin.
That is exactly what Eve feels like all the time.
I've never been rich. Well,
Well-
and she kind of lifts the bag of gold and she says, briefly, although this must go with Keth. She'll like hand over the bag of the Harpy's side spoils, minus a couple gold coins, because apparently Eden's expensive.
Did we ever talk with Keth about the timeline of her getting her powers? Like her godlike?
Not the exact timeline. It sounds like basically Salamander's forces attacked. She like drove some of them off and then kind of started to grow powers after that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gino, were you saying that as a sorcerer, I get the like fly ability, or is that just like an option, or is that one
No,
of my bloodline?
your bloodline. It's your next bloodline, quote unquote, bloodline spell.
Which is next level, right?
Yeah, I think you have to take a feat for it to get it, but
Okay.
it gives
He
you
hasn't
the
taken
ability
any
to.
of the bloodline feats because you have him like deep in fighter.
I don't think I'm actually.
Well, I mean, I thought they kind of came. I guess I don't know how it works. Sorry.
No, the sorcerer has like bloodline feats that they take to get access to their bloodline spell.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the advanced ones, they get the first one for free.
So next level, should I be able to take the one needed to fly?
Yeah, it's called advanced bloodline. Yeah, and you have your bloodline spell, so you're good.
Advanced blood potency.
No, it's just called advanced bloodline.
Oh. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the. The reason I'm asking, I was going to say, as a dumb flavor text thing, Sonus is going to essentially just learn how to fly based on the description that Rava just gave, because I plan on taking that.
The description of being completely superior.
Well,
all right,
just
sure.
just like well, be like seeing Eve do it, and then also seeing like the other people fly. He's just gonna be like,
Oh, I didn't fly. I walked.
Yeah, walked on air. If you want to, I feel like you might fly too fast for that. But if you want to flavor it that way, if it's similar speeds, that's fine. But
He gets a fly speed equal to his speed.
okay.
Jeez Louise.
oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah,
think-
it can be flavored however you want. You can Goku around, or you can just sprint on air.
It's not like airwalk because you can get knocked out of the air if you have a fly speed,
Okay, yeah,
as opposed to airwalk.
got you.
Okay.
So if you get struck, you could fall.
Right. Mechanically speaking, it'll, function as flying. But
Yeah. Essentially, the flavor text is just that like Sonus saw the harpies and like whatnot doing it, and he was like, "Huh, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I can do that." To add on to the whole thing of Eve like constantly asking where Sonus learned to do a bunch of things.
It's also more like I'm gonna do this, and then all of a sudden fireballs. Like, hey, when'd you learn how to do that one? And then like the lightning thing. Like, God, I should really stop asking at this point. I don't know. I was just like, what happens if there's a big ball of wind that hits everybody? And it happened.
I just asked myself, what if I could?
Yeah, what if I could do this? And I did it, and it happened, and it was cool.
Yeah, and the before we start out too, you would see that Blevin looks a little different, a little bit more like flavor-wise. He looks a little more spiky and mean-looking, and has.
Does he still have a lab coat?
Yeah, but it's probably like a little ripped and everything. And you see, on its back, it's got little wings.
I just imagine they're so small compared to his body. Like, what am I thinking right now?
Sorry, I didn't mean to move us away from the topic. I was just.
okay. Are you guys? Well, let's see. So I did my encounter checks. We can just jump to Green Rock Hill if you want, and we can end there. Because there's not a whole lot that you guys run into on the way. You like second day, you see some like centaur tracks, like crossing your path, but that's about it. Kind of heading, actually northeast for sure. But other than that, any opposition to that?
No.
Okay.
No, it sounds good.
So we'll jump to like I think we see like we see the meeting room first of just oh shoot. Why do I ah God. Is his name Ian? It's not Ian, right? It's something else.
Seth?
Seth, yeah. Sorry. Wow, that's a weird. Okay, that's a funny connection in my head. Anyway, my brother Ian has a son named Seth. Anyway, so yeah, we see them in a meeting room and they're like talking. The general is like, Brass is pushed north beyond the keep that we lost last month. We should be able to retake it. Well, he's causing trouble. We've heard reports that there's some disruption among their forces. They're breaking ranks, not organizing as well. We don't know. We don't understand what's happened yet, but spies are trying to discover it. And then, like, there's a knock, and Seth's like, "You'll excuse me," and he stands up, turns away, and you see just a like almost a relieved sigh. He goes and he opens the door. He's like, "Yes," and the runner is like, "Your sister has returned. It seems they have some. They would like to speak to you, post haste, if at all possible." And then we'll jump. He'll turn around and he'll say, "General, I think perhaps some good news has arrived, or very bad news. We'll see." And then we jump back to the party. You're probably in like the courtyard near the barracks, and Seth starts walking out and notes the harpy first. Kind of like steps out, starts walking towards you, and then like pauses very obviously mid-step, and then continues and says, "You've returned, Evelina and company. How did it go?" he says, and he sounds almost afraid to ask.
Well, I'll have you know that I stabbed Salamander, and he proceeded to chomp a huge chunk out of my side.
His eyes go wide, and he like looks you over. He's like, "You seem well enough now.
Oh,
I'm glad you got better."
yes, well, I have some grave news. Very disappointing. And then she just like she has like a really like pale look on her face, like a really like trying to hold it in, and then like a smile just breaks. She's like, for Brass, that is. And she like lets out a laugh.
Yeah, as you're like doing this bait and switch, his expression falls a little, and like he reaches out a hand, and like everyone else can probably see that he's like moving to comfort Eve, and then you do that, and he grins, and he like slaps you on the shoulder instead, and he's like, "Got to it ahead of him. Didn't even need the rescue." I'll have you know he's.
Don't worry. We're an entire head above him now.
I think you were before. Now you're 2 up by my count.
I guess. Well, I guess we're 2 up, but who's keeping track?
Well, we will organize an escort. You will not. I don't want any jealous parties to stumble across you and try to take advantage of your fortune. And he like nods to some lieutenant who comes running over. And he's like, "I'll have it organized immediately. You must rest here tonight."
How about you accompany us? We don't need an escort.
It depends. Is this Eve only, or is this...
No,
everyone's
you guys are
there.
all
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
No, we would be happy to take an escort.
I'll put together a small company, perhaps. And he looks to Eve for like approval, just for personal guards.
Only if you come with us.
He nods. I'm sure the general will understand. If what you say is true, then he'll life here should be much easier for him for the moment. And he, like, I think he just glances towards Rava, who's, like, kind of looking around, like, very, very quizzically, but, otherwise disengaged from the conversation. And Seth says, in kind of a quiet tone, he's like, those allies you were going to gather? I thought you were headed straight there.
Oh, it's Rava, meet my older brother, Seth.
Rava looks over and says, pleasure. I can, she nods. She's like, I can see the resemblance.
Oh, and Seth, please tell the General. Harpies are off limits now. They're protected under Eden.
Well, that is news. I will inform him. We don't get many around here, but in the case that we do, he will be informed. The word will spread. And he'll nod at Rava and says, thank you for your assistance, O great guardian of the North. And Rava just laughs. Yes, praise me. Praise your new savior, human. And she says human. She does say human. And he looks taken aback.